hello, friends. Welcome to Where's Wilmington? I'm Lisa Kapala-Egan. As you know, today we're going to talk about something really special. We're going to talk about legacy, love, and learning. And we're going to wrap that all up in a pretty bow, which I'm sure Christopher might call a hat trick. That's the only hockey reference I know. Let's start off and introduce you to Christopher and Kayla Capasso. And let's talk a little bit about why they're here. Christopher and Kayla, welcome. I know this is a little bit challenging for you guys because it's a little emotional because Michael was your dad, and that's why the foundation began. So let's give a little information on your dad, and then Kayla will talk to you about what it's like to run a foundation. Christopher.
So my dad was a mechanic. We called him a non-profit mechanic.
Nice.
Would send our friends there growing up, his friends, and, he would never charge anyone, We always said, Dad, how do you make money?
Right.
But he always said it's about helping people and
Yes.
giving back to the community. So hence the reason why when my father passed away, we started the Mike Capasso Foundation, just to keep his name alive and be able to help kids from all over, and especially the community that I'm raising my kids in, the community I got raised in as well.
Wonderful.
So.
My dad was a mechanic too, and all our cars were always horrible. Our cars would be the last to fix.
Yep.
He would fix everybody else's. He'd be like, well, I'll get to yours later.
Yeah.
That's the mechanic's way.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
And just so we know a little bit more about what happened with your dad, would you mind just explaining that he had kidney cancer?
Yeah.
Can you
So he
just
had
talk
kidney
about-
cancer.
And it was quick.
It was
right?
he got 1 to 3 years, and then it went to his lungs, and then it went to his brain.
Okay.
And during that time, I was also diagnosed with cancer myself, so it was a rough year.
Wow. And I hope you're doing okay now.
I'm doing great.
Well, great. We'll just knock on wood
Yeah.
on that. And I'm sure your dad's looking down on you, making sure you're okay. So why a foundation for education? I love what you say on your website, but I want to hear you say it about higher education, how valuable it is. Let's have Kayla talk a little bit about that.
Yes, it's good for everyone to expand their own horizons, and we say we like to help people with their education and to grow with either their career or their sports career.
Right.
So we like to help them in all aspects of that. And just anybody who needs help, we're willing to help anybody that needs it in the local community especially.
Okay. And let's make sure we clarify who you are. You are Christopher's wife.
Yes.
Right? So why is this important to you? How close were you to Chris's dad?
Yeah, I actually knew Chris's parents before I knew him.
Wow.
Chris actually grew up being very close with my cousin, so our families have been intertwined for a long time. And I actually go away with my family every year, and the whole family, everybody comes, aunts, uncles, cousins, everybody. And his parents came on those vacations even before Chris did, before we started dating. So his mom always said that I'd be her daughter-in-law one day, and I didn't know it at the time, but it ended up happening. So
I'm getting goosebumps. How serendipitous. How serendipitous.
yeah, so
Okay.
I knew Mike a long time, and just his personality, like you said, he's always willing to help anyone, but he's always also a good time and a great man, and just to put his name on this it's really special to us.
Wonderful. What's it like to run a foundation day to day? You both have real jobs in addition to this,
Yes.
and you have 2 children?
Yes.
Too, right? So how do you manage all that? What's it like to manage a foundation, and how does one start with that?
Well, it all starts with an idea.
Right.
But yes, it takes a lot of work. It's a lot of behind the scenes things that go on, especially with our fundraisers, our big golf tournament. It's a lot of finding sponsors. That's really how we are run. We can't really do much without our sponsors.
Right.
So it's making those connections and keeping them strong and helping each other out in multiple ways.
Now, you started your foundation what year? I want to say 2020?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So I
COVID time.
yes,
Wow.
sitting in the house, what are we gonna do? My dad just passed away, like I said, and how can we keep his name together? And I was, going out golfing here and there, and I'm not a big golfer, but I enjoyed being out, and so, The first year we put the tournament together, was it 3 weeks?
Very quickly.
3 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, we had 124 golfers show up, which
That's
Blew our
amazing.
minds, yeah.
people, like my best friends and some of the sponsors, like, there's no way you're gonna be able to do this, and I don't like to fail, so I said okay, and we got it up and running. Didn't make a ton of money, but it was just the first year we wanted to get the name out mostly.
Good learning
Yeah.
curve.
I was going to say that because as you learn more, you learn what works and doesn't, and there's just no other way to do it except baptism by fire.
Right.
Which is kind of what your dad was like, a
Yeah.
kind of take charge guy, kind of just do what needs to be done and learn from it and move forward.
Yep,
Right?
absolutely.
Okay, let's talk about the golf tournament coming up this year. We're doing this program here in May, but August is when that is. Let's talk about that.
Monday, August 4th, we're having our 6th annual golf tournament, which is our biggest fundraiser that we do. And it's a lot of fun. I've heard a couple times that our golfers say it's the best one they've been to. So
Cool.
that's a big accomplishment to us.
Okay.
But we fill up. We have 144 golfers come, and we have fun contests throughout the course that they can pay money to play to help us raise money, and then get some nice gifts out of that. And we have a big luncheon at the end with a lot of great raffles and a silent auction, which is usually all sports memorabilia. That is a
Nice.
big hit as well.
And that's at Hillview.
No, this year we've been running it for how many? I think
This
this
is
is
our
our
third
third
year.
year
Okay.
at the Indian Ridge
Oh,
Golf.
Indian Ridge.
Yes.
Oh, I love that place.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's nice
great.
in
Very
Andover.
nice.
So if the teams are all filled up, people can still donate
Yep.
Yes.
and participate.
There is a wait list if someone's interested in participating in the tournament. We do have a wait list. We always offer the tournament to our players that did it the last year.
Right.
And then, because of schedules and things like that, not everyone can always do it. Then we go down the wait list and,
Cool.
see who can.
Isn't it nice that you have a waiting list?
It
Yes,
is.
we're
must feel
always
really
very
good,
proud
right?
of
It's a
that.
little overwhelming because everyone keeps messaging, am I in this year? Am I in this year? Can I get in? Can I get in? And some of them are your good friends, but you're like, sorry, you told us
Too
you
late,
couldn't. Yeah, it's too late. So
Nice problem to have.
Yeah,
It is, it is.
exactly.
So the reason why I contacted you is because I saw a post on Facebook about you guys with scholarships.
Yes.
These numbers are really nice. Tell me how much someone could potentially receive as a first place scholarship recipient.
Yeah, our first
nice
place.
number.
Yes, we're proud to be able to have these numbers. Our first place winner does win $10,000.
Wow.
And we continue. We go to second place, we give $5,000, and even to third place, we have $2,500.
Okay. And what I like about your scholarship program is that you actually have the recipients, or the potential recipients, write an essay. What's the question this year?
Would you like to say? Well, we're talking about his father, my father-in-law.
Yes,
It's
yes.
all about legacy this year. So specifically, can you hand it to me, please?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know it off heart.
It's okay.
So for this year, our question is, what does legacy mean to you, and how do you hope to be remembered by the people around you?
Oh, my Lord. You're going to get some tearjerker, awesome responses.
Yeah.
Yep.
How do you narrow it down? It's got to be tough. Do you have a committee?
We do.
Yeah, we have a committee. I know most of the kids so I try to keep myself out of it. Mostly family members, neighbors. I'll have them read the essays. Board members. Yep, I'll have them read the essays. We'll finalize down to 5, 6, depending on how many really stood out to us. And then people will rank. We'll have ranking system, and we'll rank them, and then I'll come in and we're looking to help out families that need it
Right.
most. So if I know a family needs it,
Right.
they might get the nod up over.
And in this day and age, who doesn't need it?
Absolutely.
Really, you
Yeah.
know? Also, another thing I like too is I know you guys are sportos, you're big into hockey, but you've opened it up to anyone. You don't necessarily have to be when kids are looking for scholarships, they're like, well, what am I going to fit into?
Right.
But really, it's anyone in need.
Anyone, yeah.
Yes,
That's
you do
really
not have to be
nice.
an athlete.
You don't even have to play sports. So for the educational scholarship, we also give sports scholarships. I mean, if someone reached out to us and said, my son's in the band and I need help,
Right.
we would do that as well.
Okay.
So
Now, when you first started out the foundation, you did other things other than scholarships, like giving equipment. Let's talk about the other things that you guys have done. Kayla, you want to speak to that a little bit?
Yes, yeah, we were a little bit more in the sports side of it when we started, so we did help a lot with equipment, with tuition of families that either reached out or we knew needed something. A lot of local families that we hear of, we like to help them.
Right.
We've also
done like camp, skill camps.
Yes.
Kids like to do camps in the off season, and
Right.
we want to give every kid an opportunity to be able to.
Right. So two of the goals that you have is no kid should not be able to go to college if they don't want to. And the other thing is no kid should not be able to play sports just because there might be a financial need. I really love that.
Yeah.
Is that something that your dad fully,
Yes.
yeah, I kind of thought you would say yes, would fully support. How do you feel when you give out the check? What's that like?
Oh, it's awesome.
I can't even imagine
Yeah.
what that would feel like. Can you speak to, Kayla, what that's like for you? Do you have a banquet? Do you do a presentation? Do you mail it to them? How does that work?
we actually asked them to the luncheon after the golf tournament. So that all the people that are our biggest supporters really are there at the time that they're getting the check. And we
Amazing.
usually ask that the first place winner, if they're comfortable, to give a little speech
I love it.
to say what it means to them.
Yes. And on your website, you've listed all the winners so people can see. There's girls on there, guys on there. Really nice to see the diversity
Yes.
that you've celebrated. So if people want to know where their money goes, it's all there on the website for them to see that.
Yes.
Is there anything you need from the community?
We're always looking for
yeah.
any help you're willing to give us, but especially with the golf tournament coming up in August, where we look for donations for things to raffle off, especially
Okay.
during during the tournament,
Right.
or even just throughout the year. Any donation is greatly appreciated
Okay.
to help out.
Yeah, sponsorships is what really huge.
Do you
because
sponsor different holes with different?
we have different hole sponsors. We have a gold sponsor. We have a Beat the Pro sponsor, which is we bring a pro golfer to
Wow.
the tournament, and you pay to play against them. So the sponsorship basically pays for them to come out, pays to
Right.
fly to go, but it also helps us. It's probably one of our biggest money raises in the golf tournament. So it's the sponsorships are 100%
Right.
profit towards the foundation. So
And I think you have a little list there of some people you might like to give mention to. Of course, we know
Yes.
there are so many. She can't list them all.
Right.
But let's just give a top few that are special to you.
Yeah, these
on
were
your
our
list.
top gold sponsors from our last year's golf tournament. First and foremost, we'd like to say a big thank you to Greg Corsia, who has the Chew Dog Hockey Academy.
Okay.
They've been great to us, and especially he helps us a lot start this foundation
Right.
every year. He's been a great help to us. And some other of our gold sponsors last year were the Toro Construction, Bank W Staffing, as well as the Colin Michael Cronin Foundation.
Nice. Okay. So take me to the day after. You're exhausted.
sleep.
But you got to start.
long day.
You
We
gotta
have
go
to
back to
start
work
the
the
next
next
day,
day. Yeah,
right?
we go back to work.
Because I would imagine to coordinate all of this, it's a big process.
Yes.
So, what do you do the day after? What's that look like, Kayla, for you?
Well, we, like you said, take a good rest, and then we actually we're sending out our thank yous and getting maybe some photographs and some videos that other people
Right.
posted on social media. We love to share those so that other people can see how the tournament went, and then start planning for next year.
And your website information will be on the screen for people to see, so
Yes.
that's great. And after you've done all of that, there's something else you do, and I know you don't want to talk much about it, but we're just going to touch on it. Tell me about the Boston Knights. Because I think that's where your foundation almost started, kind of a little bit, to take us back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Tell me about
At
that.
first, so it's a hockey program that I started. It started off as a summer showcase team. I love coaching. I played hockey, so.
Was your dad a coach too?
He did, yeah.
I know he
coached.
was. Hockey?
Yep.
Other sports too?
He did everything.
Yes, I saw that.
So, so I started that, and like I said, it started as a summer showcase team and getting more involved with the kids. The coach, can you do a spring team? Can you do a fall team? So it ended up, turning out to be this, bigger than I expected program. So now we basically go not year round, but we have camps, so we have tournaments that we enter, and from all different age groups. I have a camp for 5 to 9-year-olds, and then I have high school kids that play in the tournaments, and we try to get them into either prep schools or in front of college coaches to help get recruited. So.
Okay, so primarily is that hockey based? You said you coached everything, but Boston Knights is pretty much
Boston Knights is just
hockey-based, right?
all hockey.
Rastusha, formerly Rastusha.
Yeah,
where are we doing it now?
Yeah, MPG.
Is that what they call it now?
That's what they call it now.
Showing my age. Okay.
It's new.
So my camp's out of there. We skate out of Medford as well, and then we skate all over like Massachusetts.
And you do drills and skill building and
Yes.
team
Yep.
building and camaraderie and all that jazz.
All
right?
that fun
And
hockey
some
stuff.
of that supports the foundation as well. too.
That's what really got the foundation
love it.
started. So.
I love it.
Right now, they're part of our sponsor list. The Boston Knights are sponsoring. They do multiple sponsorships, but one of the holes at the golf tournament. So
Oh, how nice.
there's signs up there.
Okay. Is there anything final you'd like to add today? We know that the deadline is July 1st. We know
Yes.
that. And then we know that the golf tournament is August 4th. Okay. Anything else you want to say today?
We're looking to expand. As a matter of time, we're hoping to maybe do a street hockey tournament.
Ooh, fun.
So we'll see how much time we have, because we want the golf tournament's mostly adults. We want to do something for the kids as well.
I like
And so they all say they want to do a street hockey tournament. So
Okay.
hopefully in the next year or so we'll.
I don't think
that
I don't think
turning.
I've ever seen street hockey played, except when I was a kid, like on the street. But there's real rules for that. And the
Oh
whole
yeah,
thing.
yeah. There's
Wow.
rinks
As in
around
rinks,
here.
yeah.
Yeah, there's street hockey rinks and stuff
Cool.
like that. There's tournaments out there as well. I mean, most of them are profit.
why
but
not,
yeah,
right?
ours would be 100%, non-profit. Go back.
And I mean, it's not like we're Quebec. We have some time of the year that's pretty non-snowy,
Some-
right?
Yeah.
So we should be okay.
Hopefully it doesn't rain though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's not good.
every
Game on.
weekend.
Game off. Game
So-
on. And Kayla, anything you'd like to add today before we close?
Just we're always looking for help to help the local community, and
Wonderful.
it's a great feeling when we're able to do that and
Okay.
to give out those scholarships and help those in need.
Okay. I know you have 2 kiddos. Let's do a shout out for them.
Yes.
What are their names?
We have Quinn, who's our 7-year-old daughter,
Okay.
and Charlie is our 5-year-old son.
All right. Well, hi, Quinn and Charlie. And thank you so much for supporting mom and dad so they can do this amazing thing for your grampy. Right? Anything you'd like to say about your dad or how he would feel about this? What do you think he would say? My gosh.
You'd probably say, "What are you doing?" You got no time on your hands. But
Right,
like I
right.
said, it's just the way we can keep his name alive for our
And
friends
it seems
and
like
family.
you're following in his footsteps. He was, I know we're getting a little emotional here, but he was very giving, and maybe you can't fix cars, but you can certainly change people's lives.
That's for
right?
sure.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching Where's Wilmington today. If you can get involved to help these folks out to do some really great things, please do. If you want to fill out the application, 10 grand, that's no small potatoes. And the other prizes are good as well. So please keep us in mind, keep the Capassos in mind. And I want to tell you, the next time somebody asks you, where's Wilmington, you tell them right here and right here on WCTV. Thanks for watching.